Hey everyone, Zach here. Now on to the 10th episode of Voltron Legendary Defenders first season, Collection and Extraction. Turns out the Paladins have gained a little bit of useful information from Sendak's mind, mainly bits relating to a Universal station. They managed to locate it and actually depart for there, finding it to be a somewhat cloaked shipment hub. And even with Pidge's efforts to hack the systems of the facility, they find there doesn't seem to be much of anything useful there. But soon a battle cruiser arrives, and Allura figures that they could hack that ship's own computers to find out more useful information of the Galra Empire. With this, we get a little bit of interesting information for Alteans. They actually have shape-shifting abilities to some extent. At the very least, their skin color and height. So, with a stolen uniform, Allura manages to pass herself off as one of the soldiers, not one of the robot sentries that are still in common supply. She boards the ship with Shiro in order for both some extra fighting skill, but also the usefulness of his prosthetic arm being able to access Galra tech. They eventually notice a druid mystic for the first time, like one of Witch Hagar's comrades. Keith goes ahead to try and investigate while Lance, Pidge, and Hunk stand the sort of command bridge of the station. While there, Keith finds that they apparently have found a new way to harvest quintessence. First is these large containers of this unusual yellow liquid that is then manipulated with the druid's own innate abilities, their own magic, essentially, to apparently manipulate into the bright purple fuel source for the Galra Empire. I'm not sure if that relates to the Komar experiment that was noted a few episodes back, but I guess it ties together in some way, at least, even if only loosely. Shiro and Allura managed to navigate the halls of the ship overall safely, because Shiro starts getting flashbacks of how he escaped a year ago. Turns out he managed to memorize their patrol patterns and essentially snuck out while making note of their timing. They seem to get some information from the ship thanks to Shiro working the computer on one end and Pidge hacking from the other. Also back at the quintessence lab, for lack of a better word, Keith actually tries to steal one of the fuel cells or whatever, but faces the impressive abilities of the druid at At the very least, they have teleportation, kind of limited force field ability, and lightning attacks. So the paladins are pretty lucky they don't face multiple troops of them in every battle. And apparently they're far too useful working closer to Zarkon himself. Allura and Shiro are unfortunately soon found out, and as Pidge rescues Keith and the Green Lion, the two infiltrators work to try to escape aboard a shuttlecraft right before the cruiser enters hyperspeed back to Zarkon's Central Command area, territory, I guess. And unfortunately, Shiro is the only one who gets to escape. Allura basically holds the line and lets herself be captured. And while previously Shiro noted it would probably be a stupid, reckless mistake to go to Central Command at this time, try to take the fight to Zarkon, now they very much have to, because her greatest ally is on her way there. So yeah, quite a cliffhanger. Pretty interesting stuff throughout the action, the infiltration aspect, and of course the heaviness of the ending. But there still was comedy. Thankfully, it wasn't a downer of an episode. One bit involved Hunk wondering if large sealed containers that the Galra were seen transporting contained sporks, because apparently as an advanced alien race, they would obviously look past the uselessness of having a separate fork and spoon. There was some casual, I guess, kind of military banter when Allura was trying to distract one of the other soldiers. She was like, how would you rank your bloodthirstiness on 1 to 5? 1 being, no thanks, I'm full, to I can't get enough of it. And the other guy's like, to be honest, about a 3. So even that little moment kind of gives personality to the Galra Empire. It's not just blindly obedient robots and blindly obedient aliens. Don't think there's much else to talk about with this one besides wondering where it's going. If they're gonna even directly see Zarkon for the first time, or if they'll directly fight him, or if he'll keep his distance for now. It's only the end of the first season coming up, so either way there would have to be a lot in store after that. See you in episode 11 then.